realization of the day is being in a system, what most people call matrix, or this perception of the reality. It's quite an interesting experience because we ultimately have the power to manifest the reality that we truly want. But the problem is most of us don't really understand what they want to manifest. Most of the manifestations are planted into our mind, into our subconscious mind, by the very precise social engineering and propaganda. And all of the tools we have today, including social media, specifically social media, all of the movies, it's all done to plant the desires and this falsehood perceptions that serve someone but not us. Just think for a moment about that. Someone who figured it out understand that the more people think about the same thing, the more people want the same thing, the quicker it manifests in this reality. So if someone who controls certain industries plant certain seeds in a collective consciousness, this individual, a group of individuals, they benefit from that, comparing to you is just a tool, a puppet, right? So that's been quite a big pain and quite a big frustration in my specific reality, because I'm realizing I such a small grain in that massive container of ocean, container of grains. You know what I mean? The ocean of grains. However, the good news is once we understand that, we understand the rules of the game, we can change that. So instead of just listen to me carefully and try to understand what I'm saying. Instead of blaming governments on saying I don't really like how things are, how could they create such laws? How could they make such rules? How could they limit us? How could they not allow us to have this and that? How could they tax us? Right? So we, instead of taking action, we complain. We just simply use a negative vibration or negative emotion to express that we don't like something. But it doesn't change the reality, because from such attitude, from the lower vibrations, we cannot manifest anything. We can only manifest from the state of love, or from the state of contentment, from the state of fulfillment, while we're trying to do that from the state of lack. But here is a solution. My biggest realization is that we are not citizens of some kind of different countries. We are not separate races as they made us believe. I want us to become, and that's what I identify myself as, some kind of human being, someone who live on this planet, earthling, if you will. Something that makes much more sense. We came here, and it can be a beautiful gift because nature provide and respond to our vibrations. Nature, like everything we see around us, is respond to our frequency, collective frequencies, right? So individually, you can shift some things, but if collective consciousness is negatively charged or negatively aligned, then we're gonna have, as a consequence, bad weather, pollutions, all of the negative scenarios around us, because we ourselves manifest that, right? And that's what they say. Say, hey, people who control everything, the few families. From my research, I figured out that from ancient times they call them archons. Archons, those who rule us, that came here, like a parasite. Oriented entities, more advanced civilizations that generated specific matrix around us and take a full control and harvest us, basically. Like what Matrix movie describes is quite accurate. It's a quite documentary. So the funny thing, but it's a very serious thing at the same time, is that once we stop associating ourselves with separate entities, I am no longer citizen of any country. Doesn't matter what passport they gave me, it doesn't matter what they say, what rules I should obey. I am the citizen of the planet, or I am the human, earthling, Gaian, if you will, So I am Gaian. I live here, same as you are. And we all have the right for free energy, free resources, everything that we should have for our life. We should not worry about that it should be paid. We should work for our food. We should not. Not in a way that it is promoted to us, because nature will provide. We have farms, we have resources. We don't have to slaughter so much animals to fulfill our falsehood desires. It's not about that. So once we associate ourselves with that, stop separating ourselves, we realizing that the more we come together, the more stronger we are, and the more we think about something together positively, the more things we can manifest, positive things in this world. But how practically it works, you say, right? And that's been my big question. So okay, I'm understanding that, but how can I exist in such a rigid, such a corrupted system that doesn't actually support such ideas? It does the opposite. It wants you to suffer once you start to kind of rebel, right? So the system is built this way. Like agents in the Matrix, they come to you and they start to make your life extremely hard, so you do not liberate yourself. But the thing is the more of us start doing that, then they cannot come for all of us, and eventually the system gonna collapse. So it's all based on our synergy, right? So how about we just come together, create a system that I have already a lot of ideas, and I want you to just keep following me and reach out to me if you really want to be more involved into that initiative of myself. And I'm sure there are a lot of similar individuals. This is what happens usually, who thinking about the same or already done certain things. So now it's time for us to unite, start creating our own. I don't want to say government, our own collective union, and basically, create our own new citizenship on a planet, and stop playing this game. No longer playing that idea that governments want to promote to us. And what they're going to do? Nothing. They not be able to control us. We will be so self-sufficient. We will get our own resources. We within our union, within associating ourselves with being earthlings, Gaians, humans, we can establish ourselves everything we need, and we don't have to stress. We don't have to worry about what government keeps worrying us. We would not even worry about fighting. We would not even worry about wars, because nobody rationally, nobody conscious would do that. This is specifically done to keep us in that suffering, to keep us in a negative frequency, and that's what it is. So with you, that's the invitation to come together and remove that ideas from your subconscious mind that you are this race, you belong to that country, those are how we act. You have to pay this taxes to government, you have to pay this to bankers, you have to, it's all the belief. So I'm inviting you to jump and start together with me, create new reality. So if that resonates with you, keep following, reach out if you're willing to take some actions. And this is just the reflection to give you hope, because for quite some time I lost hope in us, as I'm so tired of the consumerism, of this continuous game where everyone try to sell you everything. Even spirituality became so rigid, so consumer based. Everyone is no longer want to help you. They say, yes, I want to help you and I will help you, but being of service, but at the same time pay me the money. I understand why, of course, because the world requires, the way the government build things is they always require money. You need to pay for your accommodation, for your house or your mortgage, whatever. You need to always pay the bills. And if you are fully in, kind of being of service, you cannot. You will end up just living quite a quite tough life. But why, if we all deserve a great life? You know what I mean? So consumerism is the problem, and the rigid system, the financial system itself is so corrupted that even if you change your attitude towards money, that's not going to change the reality. It should be completely re-evaluated and rebuilt. So let's unite together. Let's be no longer citizens of Spain or Germany or States or whatever, Indonesia, Russia. Let's all become Earthlings or Gaians or human beings. Become one and stop playing the games government and banks want us, and establish the systems that actually going to benefit us, benefit everyone inside of that. And I'm already doing certain actions toward that. So let's come together.